Welcome to the Big Money Podcast. I am Janine Hurd, here to guide you to scale your business from 7 to 8 figures and building wealth that lasts for generations. Get ready for audacious strategies, real talk, and next level business moves. So let's dive in today's episode. How I made $700K in 12 days without saying what I was selling. Welcome to the Big Money Podcast. I know this sounds so insane, but trust me, you don't want to miss this podcast episode because it has been insane. When the first payment of $222,222 hit my account for a lucky bag, which is a mystery offer where the client didn't even know any details, I knew I was onto something wild and powerful. And over 12 days, $700K rolled in, and here's how it happened. We got to talk about this. So I feel this has been so universally guided, and there's so many lessons in here. But for this podcast episode, because I can be and I will be talking for hours about this and the lessons learned for all of us here. It's really I'm currently in Tokyo, Japan. And I was here for the New Year's, and already before coming to Japan, I knew that the New Year's celebration are really big and powerful. I've read everywhere that you got to go to the shrine, you got to go to the temples for the celebrations. It's really different here. And when I mean, obviously, celebration, I don't mean like a party, get drunk and like count to the countdown thingy. This is really not what they do in Japan. At least we haven't experienced it. Rather more, it's been really going to the temple, going to the shrine, asking for prayers, sending prayers, doing this whole ceremonial approach with thousands, millions of people. It's been so busy at the temples. And it's really all the stores in Japan, because it's such a big thing, the new year, right? You're starting a new year, a new cycle. It's something powerful. It's a new freaking beginning. If we start really seeing the new year like that, I mean, wow, it's like you're allowed to enter 2025. There are so many people that didn't make it. Can we connect to the power that we have, to the magic, the wisdom, the miracles that we freaking made it to 2025 and we can enter this year? And again, it's another 365 days in which we can create whatever we want, like all the miracles, all the abundance, all the money, all the impact. It's like, it's a gift. It's a freaking gift. Whereas I experienced in the Western world, it's like a party and people don't care. It's like we've lost so much the traditions and rituals in our own society. It's a freaking chasing. And I love this since my husband and I have been traveling for almost 2 years nonstop. We've experienced so many cultures, so many rituals. We are very interested in the spiritual wisdom of every country. And I've experienced the wildest things of being in Peru and calling in rain and talking to shamans, experiencing plant medicines, like so many different aspects. I could talk weeks about that. So again, it was clear to me when I came to Japan, I want to experience this New Year ceremony. And part of that is, this is a spiritual aspect, the bigger celebrations, the bigger meaning of a new year, the gratitude, the love, the appreciation, like everything that comes with that. And then we're obviously here for the business, to grow our own business. What we saw at all the stores, and I mean literally all the freaking stores, from a hair salon to a restaurant to a donut place to Dior, Chanel, it literally through all industries. It doesn't matter. Everybody was selling lucky bags. And a lucky bag is literally a mystery bag. It's a little like a shopping bag. And you just see the price point. And you don't know what's in it. You just know it's double the value. And whatever is in your lucky bag, it determines how much luck you're going to have for the rest of the year. And people also believe whatever is in your lucky bag is exactly what you need right now. It's a big thing. So a lot of designers, because it became such a big thing in Japan, those lucky bags, right? It starts, I think, already on the last days of like December 31st, kind of. there are a lot of like really runs and hypes around those lucky bags because very often there are limited editions in those bags you only can find in a lucky bag by the end of the year. So there are different scenarios like double the product of what you paid for. Sometimes you have a clue. For instance, we saw at one store, I'm like, okay, this is a lucky bag for like hair products, skin products, something like this. They would give you a hint, but not always. Most of the time not. So you just don't know what's in it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so genius. And if you've been into my world, I teach you all about creating offers only relevant for your dream clients. And I'm sharing a lot about my dream client and what makes her buy or not. And if you're new and if you haven't mastered this, because I keep repeating this over and over, this is a freaking hard piece. People come to me, I'm like, they think I make the money because of my ManyChat automations on Instagram. Yes, they bring in a lot of money, but they bring in a lot of money because everything is made in my world for my dream clients. So there's so many pieces before that you don't see that make it work. And at this point, I'm even going to give my ManyChat automations out for free. And you will see how you implement them. They're so basic, so simple. They're not bringing in the money. It's not the freaking automation. And I saw so many people testing my automations. It's not that. All the invisible work before, which I'm teaching you, obviously. So I know exactly what triggers my dream client to buy. And this is how I've created the lucky bags in the rich and happy world. Because I know what triggers my dream client, I follow my intuition. I create offers just for her. And I talked a lot about this, and I'm going to talk more about this in January, February, is that many of you don't have like a messaging issue, a marketing issues. You don't know how to create insane offers that dream clients, premium buyers love to pay for. And this is something people always miss. And that's why I love to watch a lot of documentaries, for instance, about Dior, about Chanel, about even Gucci and the House of Gucci. If you go back in the beginning, and this is where it's a starting point for all of us, is they got exceptional at their offers. The Gucci bag, the leather, they were known for the high quality of the leather they used. So if you go back into those premium brands, really to the beginning point, all their focus was on offer creation, having the highest quality, the highest goods, the best products. And if I'm seeing your offer suite, how it's been created with how little love, how little detail is in there, you try to sell a shitty product at a high price point. And I feel this was really the coaching scene in 23, 24. We saw a lot of people having high ticket offers and people not getting results. And this doesn't work anymore. But it still works if you have a high quality product, you can charge a high ticket price. But the beginning point is the freaking offer creation. And most of you have never contemplated, never invested a dime into real luxury offer creation. And again, it's manifestation. Input equals output. This is on the input part. This is your part. But you just want the money out on the output. That's why our training is the premium buyer, where I teach a lot about this, is at 5,555 euros, dollars, the price point. It's one of our highest instant access programs. And here's why. Because the people that just want the quick money, they do not buy those programs. And this is exactly how I designed it. Because I don't want you to be able to create a fancy box without having something beautiful inside. Imagine you're opening a Tiffany's box and there's no jewelry inside, it's just a little bit of air. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So most of you don't know how to do a premium offer creation. So this is really what we did with the lucky bags, and we had price points of 22, 222, 2,000, 222, 12,000, 22,000, and 222,000. And my little self, lower self, was like, who's going to buy a lucky bag for 222,000 not knowing what's in it? But at this point, I know if something's on my heart, on my mind, on my soul, I'm only having this impulse to put this offer out there because on the other end, there's someone that wants to spend this money exactly at the Rich and Happy brand. So I must follow. And there are also many learnings about this. I'm going to keep this for another episode. So what happened was one morning we were selling lucky bags literally like crazy. It's literally every minute sales were coming in. And one morning I'm waking up and we were at the Mandarin Oriental in Tokyo and I'm like, Edward, we just sold a bag for 22,000. It was the first higher price bag. And I'm like, Edward, actually, we sold a bag for 222,000. Edward's my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was freaking out, celebrating like crazy. And that day, more sales were coming in for 12,000, for 22,000, really a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so insane. And we got to contemplate this from a logical perspective. What has happened here? Multiple people bought lucky bags. And we're not talking about the 222, 2002. It's all in your comfort zone. 2000, maybe it's a little bit kind of out of your comfort zone, but let's be honest, spending 12,000, 22,000 and $222,000 on a lucky bag, you don't know what's in it. The only thing you know is, you know me, it's going to be insane. It's going to be blowing your socks. So this happened and I've been contemplating and receiving wild downloads. And again, it's coming back to why did this work? First of all, I know exactly what my dream client needs, what triggers her to make a purchase. And then in the luxury world, in the premium world, and this is not so much about the price tag, but it's really people value exclusivity, energy, and trust. And I think this is so powerful to understand. And this really, I mimicked something from Hermes very often that once you're at the store, you're just being offered a bag. You don't even know like the color, if you like it or not. People just buy the freaking Birkin bag. And this really allowed me, I'm like, hey, this is possible also for me, for all of us. And we just have to pay attention to what makes people buy, how they buy it. And I thought it's so genius that I really had to share this. And I thought it breaks a lot of limiting beliefs for many of you out there, what is actually needed. And is it really that all the tiny details, like the length, what's in it, and makes your dream client purchase? And for me, the answer was always no. My dream client, she's triggered by something else. If you're in my inside world, you know what that is. I share a lot about this. It's not so much what makes my dream client purchase. It is that you do the work for you and your world. And if you haven't done this, I highly recommend you getting the Dream Client Explosion program, is where I literally teach you all about this. And this is, I will always come back to this because this is so powerful, this work, because everything goes back to that. All the conversations we're going to have about offer creation, about social media, about automations, all coming back to the heart piece. This is the living, breathing part of your business, and you gotta master it. You gotta master it. And dream clients are not ideal clients because anybody could purchase a freaking lucky bag. But lucky bags haven't been created for anybody that has $22 or $200 or $2,000 or $12,000 or $22,000 or $222,000. They've been created only for my dream client. And these are the people who purchased them. And I think a lot, this is a final conclusion I want to talk about, a final point for today. I think if you ask me like the strategy behind and why it worked, a lot of it is really the boldness of offering tiers from $22 to $222,000. And there's one thing I always have been teaching since day one is you got to take bold actions. And people in my world, my dream clients, are ready to take bold actions. You take bold actions and many of you don't. And this again was such a big learning for so many of us that you have to trust yourself. If you had an impulse to buy a lucky bag and you didn't, I know you'll regret once we reveal what's in all of them. For sure, what's in the 222 bag, because it's insane. And this is exactly what's happening in life. We have an impulse. We don't know what's happening on the other end, but we know we have an impulse and you must act on the impulse. This is life. This is manifestation at its finest. And I love to be in service to the creator, to the universe, to create this, because the feedback we've received from the community who participated and got a lucky bag, they did go through so much resistance, especially people spending $12,000, $22,000, and the one woman also spending $222,000. And again, everything in life is for you. Can you trust? And I'm sharing all the wisdom, all the lessons learned, and how you can create offers that print money for yourself, for your community, I'm hosting a new live event this Sunday, January 19th. And I'm sharing how I did this exactly, which questions I've asked myself, which principles I followed. And I highly recommend you, if you feel like, hey, this is something I actually could master and learn more about, then the new Offers That Print Money masterclass is for you. It's $222. The link is in the show notes, or as always, you just go to richandhappiness.com/store. And the best part is, if you're in the Feminine Wealth Engine, you get a 50% discount. So both are really cool. If I would be you, I would get in the Feminine Wealth Engine before. You get instant access to so many programs. Plus, every month we're adding new things to the bundle till the end of the year. Plus, once you're there, you get most of my offers at a highly discounted rate. So it's really cool to get to know each other, to get your journey started, and of course, continue and make big money in 2025 together. That's a wrap, big money makers. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, join the Mastery Club. Simply DM me podcast on Instagram or hit the link in the show notes, and I will see you tomorrow and on Friday for the next episodes. Always remember, your 8-figure business is waiting for you right now.